Now, let's begin with this move by the governor of Edo State to have an all-inclusive meeting towards achieving stability security-wise in not just Edo North, but in the state as a whole. What do you make of it, and is that the right step in the right direction to achieving that?
Yes, thank you again for inviting me to speak on these very important issues that is currently ravaging the entire country, not just Edo State alone. And just to say that what is required to deal with this challenge is what Monday Okpebholo, the governor of Edo State, have done. The political will is what is required. And I'm happy that this is synchronizing with what the president is also doing across the northern part of the country. And I mean Bauchi, Borno, and all those states where the issue of killing, kidnapping, S-men killing, and all that is going on. So the real variable that is required to deal with this challenge is the political will. And that's exactly what Monday Okpebholo have done. But I haven't announced to put all government machinery in place to deal with this challenge. I also believe very strongly that we must act smartly. Act smartly in the sense that government must begin to gather data on this issue by working closely with community people. It is not what government alone can deal with. If you look at the kidnapping trajectory in Edo State, you will know that it's not something that the police or the traditional security agency can deal with alone. There are community security architecture that is already in existence in Edo State that I think that this present government governor need to build on. And if the government actually looked at what happened during the Obaseki regime, it has to learn some good lessons from how the community vigilante helped to address this whole issue of kidnapping and violence across Edo State, because government is continuity. And also, I also want to also encourage the government to also look at the fact that it has to also synchronize this local vigilante with the traditional security agency. And then you have the SSS. The SSS can gather information at the community level, work closely with these community vigilantes, and provide it to the government, and the government can build on that. But having said that, the most important thing is that it's recognizing the value that the community people can also bring to board, because some of this kidnapping that is happening in the Edo State is not happening because the people don't have network insight. It's because of the fact that there is a loophole that they can exploit and they carry out this action. Then government need to also work with the communication agency. The communication agency, there is no kidnapping that happens in Edo State that they don't rely on telephone or the phone. But how the quick response that can never happen can only happen when the traditional security agency are well equipped. And the government need to invest in those security apparatus. But as we speak today in Edo State, the government need to also activate the intelligence gathering, which will help both the community vigilante and the traditional security agency. And in gathering those intelligence, it requires a lot of investment. So what I would say is that first, I commend the governor for taking up this action. At least that political will is there, because that's the first variable that is required for any success to end this kidnapping. And then the industry, the kidnapping industry, as I call it, is a big industry. Is a big one in Edo State. And the implication of kidnapping in Edo State is that it will not enable the state to attract foreign investment. It will not create the enablement for the state to be able to drive any investment into the state. Like an example of what happened in Uromi. That's not going to be a good way to market the state for any foreign investor. And so that's why the government has to deal with the issue in a way that at least send the right signal to both the kidnappers and their godfather. Because you see, the kidnapping, to deal with it, you have to learn lessons from previous administration, right from the time of Adamu Shomole down to Obaseki. You have to build on the sources and lessons from those regimes. And once government build on those sources, that's how you can deal with this challenge in a more holistic and broad way. And then another thing is about investment. The level of poverty in Edo State is huge. And then the inflow of domestic migrants from the northern part of the country, and they are not documented. I can tell you that over thousands of youth moving from the northern part of the country to Edo State, they are not documented. And from our legal investigation we have carried out, over 80% of these young men and women that are moving into Edo State every day, they are not Nigerians. And so which means the Edo State government have the capacity to carry out investigation to see if these are Nigerians. It has to be carried out in a way that the immigration has to be part of this. The Interior Ministry has to be part of this. Because if you look, just see the motorcycle they use. The motorcycle they use, over 99% of them are not registered. And so when they commit crime, you cannot even arrest them. In all the flashpoints in Edo State, where you have the concentration of these so-called northern youth who are driving bicycles, who are doing all kind of jobs in Edo State, you found out that the bike they are using are not registered, are not documented. There is no way security agency will be able to track them when they commit crime.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Let's look at this other angle.